What's going on, guys? Philip at Trade Genius. Hope you're having a good week. I wanted to remind you guys that we have a really important level coming up on Saturday evening. It's the monthly close for Bitcoin. And as you can see, we're working on a monthly close that we've only seen higher one other time. And that was back in December of 2017, where we had a monthly close around 13,863. If we get a close above this level, as we talked about, this usually locks out the prices below this historically. The last two times we came up, took out these quarterly closes like that on a monthly basis, these levels below were never revisited again. So it's important to understand how this level has been a very important level historically for the price of Bitcoin. So again, this is Saturday, October 31st. 8 p.m. Eastern is when this candle closes. So you may want to stick around and see how that does against this 13,863 level. As you can see, everything is green on the fulcrum. If you're interested in the fulcrum or even the trade sniper signals that we have that come with the packages, head over to tradelikeagenius.com or tradegenius.co and check out our specials for October. And you can get those indicators there with those packages. If you notice here, we're starting to get a fall off on the delta. This is the delta that checks between spot price and the nearest futures contract, and it's starting to wane. And when I see that happen, especially when we get a topping pattern like we have here, you'll see that a lot of times when you get this pop and drop, it's around these local highs here. Now, here we didn't have that waning so much, but here, when we had this one, you'll notice that we had a decline on the delta up to that point, and then we broke through the WMA 65 and eventually tagged the 200 period moving average. So I do think that we need to be very careful here getting long. We could poke through. I will show you something on the cycle repeat graph though that says that per that model, we actually are expecting a price move up, but it is a model. Things aren't exactly the same all the time, and so it's more of a kind of a median level to check against. But we'll look at that in a second here. But there's a lot of these price inefficiencies that we covered in the previous videos that I believe are going to get filled. Do they all get filled? They may not. It's not a 100% rule that they have to, but I do think some of these larger ones that are not too far below us definitely have a chance of getting tested and backfilled. As far as the markets staying decoupled, I think that's still the case. Obviously, a lot of volatility in the S&P 500 right now. Huge market swings during the day and overnight. But as you can see, Bitcoin has made higher lows, whereas the stock market is making lower lows. So definitely still decoupled, and that really took off back here around October 27th, 28th. And so for now, I think that's going to continue until we see otherwise. And then the cycle repeat, this is what I'm talking about. This is showing us that this part of the cycle, we would expect a fairly large pop followed by a drop. Now, you could say that we've kind of had that already with the way prices come up so quickly, and maybe we do see a pullback. I'm not too worried about whether or not we follow this closely, but I'm more concerned about where we are as we head into December. Are we going to be up here at a higher price at 14,000 and then making this big move in December? I think this action here is more important versus following this pop and drop as closely as we are. I think the backside of this action here is where it's more important to see if we're keeping up the pace, follow the same cycle pattern, and get us to ultimately these highs that we'll see here at over 300,000. Okay, so big picture though, we are following that line pretty well, which is very interesting. But again, I look at it as not something that we would follow exactly 100%. As you can see, I mean, obviously different times than the previous cycles, but more or less the same laws apply. We have a disinflationary mechanism in rising demand, so it creates very similar moves, but they don't have to be one for one. So we just want to make sure that we're tracking somewhat on it. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on as we get through the election, through November, get through that volatility, and then see how we track this price model here into December. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Just want to give you a heads up on that. If you're interested in any of these indicators, head over to tradelikeagenius.com or tradegenius.co, and you can check them out over there. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe. It really helps out our channel. I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.
Trade Genius.